Welcome to part 5 of the book of Jeremiah, November the 2nd, 2023. And I just want to ask, why, if you've been called to preach, aren't you preaching the true and everlasting gospel of the Lord? His words shall not pass away. But those twisted, itching your preaching words, those are not going to stand. Those are going to pass away. Those are going to be destroyed by the Lord himself with the brightness of his coming. Now, just as I said, let's jump on back into this. Jeremiah 1 verse 17. You therefore gird up your loins, and arise and speak to them all that I command you. Be not dismayed at their faces. Now, how many times now has he told him that? That's twice, right? That's like that spot where he tells us, be not deceived, right? Throughout this book, multiple times has he told us not to be deceived. But anyways, getting back into this, I command you, be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound you before them. Trust me, he will do it. Been there, done that. Oh, you don't want that, trust me. For behold, I have made you this day a defenced city, and an iron pillar, and a bronzen walls against the whole land. The whole land. Gentlemen, they can't hurt us if we're doing his will. We got nothing to fear. They can't do nothing what God don't allow. And he got your back, and God's got your back. Ain't a devil in hell can do nothing. And if there ain't a devil in hell can do nothing, that means there ain't a man on this earth can neither. Same difference. Follow what I'm saying. If there ain't a devil in hell can't do nothing with you, there ain't a man on this earth can neither, because it's the same difference. It's time y'all meet the sons of God and the sons of Satan and realize who they were. Now, either you're going to be an angel in heaven or you're going to be a devil in hell. Make your choice. For behold, I have made you this day a defenced city. Let's look at that. That means a fortified, ironclad, nothing gets in. Fortified. You're better than Iron Man. I had to say that because it's just funny. An iron pillar and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. And ooh, that one hit me, I think, Lord. Thanks, I got it. And they shall fight against you, but they shall not prevail against you, for I am with you, says the Lord, to deliver you. Y'all are so afraid of dying that you scared to death to go up against these people because you're afraid you're going to die. Well, I would rather die fighting for the Lord than to live a coward's life. doing the devil's will. I'll just tell you right now. Oh, when I was a little girl, I used to play war with my cousins. A lot of y'all probably did the same thing. How many of y'all ever used a backer stick like a sword? Mm-hmm. See, I didn't know what a backer stick meant and what that was. I just knew they called it a backer stick at that time because I was so little. But I would play sword fight with that backer stick with my cousins. And one day I was standing in my great-grandmother's yard. See, because my great-uncle was one had them backer sticks. He didn't grow back. A man he knowed down the road gave him a bunch of them to use for his tomato plants as stakes. Because he was an old drunk, bless his heart. But he loved my uncle. Because my uncle was kind of a simple little man. And that old drunk, he took a liking to my uncle. And he know my little uncle wanted something so bad to stake up his tomatoes. So he raised tobacco, that old drunk did. And he gave them tobacco sticks to my uncle. Well, me and my cousins got into my uncle's little storage house where he kept them stored at for his tomatoes. And see, it wasn't planting season, but it's playing season, so we decided to play with them. Oh, anyway, we got those backer sticks out and we was playing with them, some of them. Not all of them, mind you, just a few of them. And we had us a fort because my uncle had this little fenced-in section where he would put his tomato plants. And that was the perfect place to have a fort. Because he had it fortified real good for us. And there's this big old tree down at the one corner of it, and we love that big old tree, and we would go climb up in that tree. That was our army tank, you know. The imagination of children, right? But anyways, our army tank became many things. It was our barracks. It was our army tank. Whatever we had need of at that moment, that's what it was. That's what it means to play imaginary. These days, everybody tries to take the imaginary and make it real, bold. Let's not be doing that. But anyways, back to the story at hand. I was playing with that backer stick, and I was just a wee little thing. And I guess maybe I might have been 7 years old. And I was talking to the devil. I was mad at him. I wanted him done for. I don't even know why I started that conversation with him, but for some reason it just flew in my head. He started talking to me, and I guess I just started talking right back. I remember a little bit of it, and I just told him one of these days I was going to slay him. That's what I told him, just straight out. One of these days I'm going to slay you. And I was swinging that backer stick like a sword, and I was like, this what you got coming? And that's when it happened. I got in trouble. I got reprimanded by the Lord. Right there he stood in my granny's driveway. And there I stood. And he called me down. And he said, come here, little one, come here. And I knowed I was in trouble. I said, now what did I do? I didn't say no bad words. And he said, no, but I need to talk with you. I said, okay, what is it, Lord? See, I already knowed who he was. And he said, our weapons are not carnal. And I have never forgotten that. I didn't know then what that meant. I was like, Lord, I don't know what that means, but I know I ain't having caramel tonight. See, because I used to get them words mixed up, caramel and carnal. And I thought, the Lord must not like caramel. We can't have no caramel weapons. And then I kept trying, and I kept trying, and I kept trying to understand what good a caramel weapon would do against the devil anyway. And I thought, well, I guess we could stick him to the ground. You pour enough caramel on him and he won't go nowhere. But the Lord said our weapons wasn't caramel. And that was for humor, y'all. But it was truthful. But it was for humor that I throw that little tidbit in here. The mind of a child. Now that I'm older, I completely understand that. See, because this is our weapon. And you cannot know how to wield this weapon if you don't study it. If you don't listen to the voice of the Lord. If you don't hear Him. And if you don't read His Word, you're not going to know how, when, where, or why to yield. And to wield that sword in a proper manner. And you're just going to hurt more people than you help. See, because this weapon will not kill people if it's not necessary. This weapon will only cut out the parts that is not needful. The bad things. But see, if you take a real sword and you cut somebody's head off, they're dead. And you can't take the bad parts out then. Because they dead. And then they died in a lost state. And all you did there was kill a lost sinner. And you cannot help them anymore. They will not ever be your brother or sister unless it's in the purgatory of hell, the prison of hell. For your eternal death. But it will not be in heaven. So better to learn this word and to study this word and critique your ability to wield this weapon. Don't just go swinging it madly at anything. Trust me, I've been there. Jesus did something in his anger once. He was so hungry and he wanted a fig. And it wasn't even the season for figs. But the tree didn't have anything on it because it wasn't the season. So he said to that tree, wither and die. He commanded that fig tree to wither and die. Many of y'all, when you bow down to pray, you say to the Lord, give me the head of my enemy. How about you say to the Lord, give me the heart of my enemy, because if he loves me, Lord, he won't want to kill me. If they love me, Lord, they won't want to hurt me. If they love me, Lord, they might listen to me and I might be able to help them find you. How about you do that? Killing should never be the answer. But if you've murdered them in your heart, they're dead already. You've already murdered them. And it is written, thou shalt not kill. Now, I don't know why the Spirit is having me go this way. But I know that I am talking to everyone throughout the world. And before I get on into the rest of this Jeremiah, I have to give you some instruction. When we talk about Judea and Israel and Jerusalem and these places, look at it, yes, as that nation over there, but also look at it in the spiritual ramifications. Because remember, Israel is scattered abroad. And the punishments that go out to that Israel is also punishments for the Israel that is scattered abroad as well. And to the Gentiles also, because to the Jew first and then to the Gentile who are not following after the will of God, who hates the Lord and who are not obeying his commands. Because God's children are not subject to wrath, but God's children will obey him. God's children obey. Sheep obey. Goats butt. But Lord, But Lord, I used to do that. I thank God I'm not a goat anymore. And you know, I didn't even realize I was doing it until the Lord pointed it out. If that's you, come out of it in the name of Jesus. I'll see you in the next part.